All right, guys, welcome back to Graham Sports Network pregame show, episode 4. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'll talk about a few different things on this one, but let's just go ahead and get right into it. Friday night, big one at Union, at Bullet Park, big game. We're going to talk about it a lot on this episode, and we'll hit some other sports as well and their schedules for the week. But the big thing, before we get into the Union game, which is about as big of a game as you can have in week 4. There's a lot at stake. And before we get into that, let's talk about the George Wythe game from this past Friday. We won 31-0, 3-0. So congrats to the team. Congrats to the coaches. Dylan Nash got things going with a 26-yard field goal. Gabriel Lilly had a 45-yard run and a 35-yard run for a touchdown. Dalton Roberts had a pass to Chris Edwards for 83 yards for a touchdown. Gage Palmer with a 1-yard run. And again, we finished 31-0. Make that 3 weeks and 3 shutouts. So defense playing at an all-time high. So hopefully we can keep that rolling into Friday. Offensive player of the game, Gabriel Lilly. Defensive player of the game we gave to Amari Hill. Jasir Williamson lit it up too on defense. And that defensive line played really, really well. I thought our team, I think you can see the improvement from throughout the weeks. One thing when I'm talking to other people about Graham football, I feel like we always improve every single week. I mean, you can tell just a huge difference from week 1 to week 11 or even into the playoffs. So, and we're seeing it now. So that's a recap of the George Wythe game. For the most part, again, I thought we played well offensively. Defensively, I thought we played well. Special teams, I thought we played well. And we're just we're continuing to see some improvement. So that's been great to see, and hopefully we can continue to get better, throughout the rest of the season. All right, so we want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, Swamp Fox Motorsports, out of Princeton. We'll put all their information up here as always. Give them a shout out or give them a call if you guys want anything or think they could maybe answer some questions or help out with anything. If you want to buy some ATVs, four-wheelers, jet skis, I know those things are pretty fun. So if you want to or have any questions, feel free to give them a call. Drive on out there in Princeton and go check them out. All right, so as we go over the week 3 scores, in the Southwest District, we're down to two undefeated teams in the Southwest District, Graham and Lebanon. Both of them came out with wins this past week. Graham, like we mentioned earlier, 31-0 over George Wythe, and Lebanon 41-12 over Marion. Graham and Lebanon, again, only undefeated teams in the district. Tazewell got a 35-7 win over Richlands in a big rivalry in Tazewell County, moving Tazewell to 1-1 on the year. And Virginia High lost to Radford 14-35, dropping Virginia High down to 2-1 on the year. Only had 4 different games in the Southwest District. But as we shift into the Mountain 7, we have Union, who is now 2-1, lost to Science Hill out of Tennessee 7-31. Abingdon won 20-0 over Gate City. And Ridgeview, now up to 3-0 on the year, 62-10 over Wise Central. And just to talk on Ridgeview, I've been looking at these scores and over the past few weeks, and they're beating everyone pretty good. So I know Ridgeview still has that quarterback that has been that Graham has played a few years ago in the playoffs. I think that was when Ty Dress had 7 touchdowns and like almost 500 yards total or something crazy like that. So that quarterback seems to be playing well. Ridgeview might be a team to keep an eye out on in that Mountain 7 along with Union. John Battle falls to 0-3 after losing to Holston 28-56, and Lehigh had a bye game or a bye week. And that's your scores from week 3 around the region. All right, and as we shift into the Graham sports schedule for the next week, really, obviously starting with football, we are at Union, 7 o'clock at Bullet Park this Friday night, tomorrow night. And then next Friday, we're traveling to Virginia High on the 27th at 7 o'clock. Will be the first Southwest District game. And this is the first of 5 weeks away from Mitchell Stadium. We got 4 away games and a bye week in there. So it's going to be a while till we see you back at Mitchell, but that's football for the next 2 weeks. In volleyball, they got 3 games next week on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Tuesday, they are playing against Tazewell at Grand Middle School, JV at 6 and varsity at 7. Wednesday at George Wythe, same times. And Thursday, the same times, they'll be at Richland. So a couple of Tazewell County matchups next week. For golf, it is tournament time. And I don't know if you guys have seen, well, actually, by the time we post this, we will probably have already made another post, or we'll make a post in the future. Now that I'm thinking about it, we'll hold off on that. But golf team looking very likely that they are going to be the Southwest District champions, which automatically puts them into the region as a team. But they have the Southwest District tournament next week on Tuesday at Holston Hills, and then the following Tuesday on October 1st, they'll be in the Region 2D tournament, also at Holston Hills. And the way that works is they take 2 teams, and I want to say the top 3 individuals or top 6 individuals from the tournament, but where we more than likely will win the regular season, we automatically go to the region, no matter what happens. So the region tournament will be the same setup, 2 teams, and I want to say 3 individuals will end up qualifying for the state tournament, which I believe will be the following week. So we'll keep you in the loop on that. Congrats to the golf team. If they are able to win the regular season, which I believe they will. Cross country, Saturday the 21st, which will be just a couple days from now, will be the Viking Voyage, let me back up, the Walker's Run at Marion at 9 a.m. And the following Saturday on the 28th, the Pikeview Invitational, also at 9 a.m. And it is officially competition cheer season, so good luck to the reigning AA state champions, the Graham G girls. Good luck to Coach Mitchum and Coach Plott and all the ladies. This Saturday, Viking Voyage at Northside High School. We'll update you guys with times, and if you can't make it out, we'll update you with scores and placements and all that, as always. And then the following Saturday, the 28th, it will be the Battle at Byrd, which will be at William Byrd High School. So best of luck to the competition cheer team. Good luck to all of our other teams as well. Volleyball's in the thick of their schedule. Golf is kind of towards the end. Cross country is getting to the middle of their season, and competition cheer is just starting. So we got a bunch of different stages for all these teams. Football is just about the halfway point. So we are full go, and it's all Graham sports, and man alive, it is fun, and we love it. We definitely love to see and watch these teams play and watch these teams compete. So try to get out to some of these games. Again, volleyball, we have a home game. Golf down at Holston Hills, got a Southwest District and Region tournament coming up. So cross country, Pikeview, not too far across the state line. So try to get out there and try to take a couple hours away on your Saturday to go to a competition, to a cheer competition. So good luck to all of our teams. As always, safe travels to our teams, our coaches, and any fans that are going to any of these games. Safe travels to you guys as well. A special shout out, a special thank you to Visit Tazewell County for sponsoring these videos. They do such a great job of highlighting Tazewell County schools and just the entire county in general. And it's such a great place to live and spend time in. And there's a lot of stuff going on in Tazewell County. So if you have any questions or anything, reach out to them. We'll put some of their information over here as well. And take a look through that game day guide. Again, we'll post that link in the comments and check some of that stuff out. They have a lot of things to do in the county that you guys might not be aware of. And yeah, maybe go spend some time doing some of those things. So thank you guys at Visit Tazewell County. Thank you all for sponsoring these videos. All right, so we got Coach Jacobs here with us today. Thanks for coming on the show, Coach.
Absolutely.
So congrats on the win last night against Bluefield.
Thank you.
Just your overall thoughts on the game yesterday.
Well, we went into the game looking to improve. We've got a couple players injured, so we had to change things up a little bit. But right now, I think our success is going to come down to the effort and everybody giving it 100% and filling in, playing up for the players that are out, and kind of go from there.
Yeah, it's always tough with injuries for sure. So I think next week you got Tazewell and Richlands, Tazewell County kind of rivalries, I guess.
Sure.
What's your keys in practice leading up to those games?
Well, again, we've got a couple players injured. I got to find out if we're going to have any of those players back. But with that said, I think the Tazewell game is keep our emotions in check, play with a lot of energy on our side of the ball, and I think we'll be okay there. We just have to, like I say, play to our abilities.
Yeah. Okay. What are your goals for the rest of the season?
Well, we're at 8 games, so we play 20 during the regular season. So we're 2-6 currently. I'd like to say that we have a good chance to win 2 or 3 next week. With that said, that kind of gets us back to even. But I'd like to see us finish the season somewhere around that 500 mark if we could. And I guess the more important part is to see how we finish in district. The game against Tazewell on Tuesday will be our first district match. We follow that up. We got George Wythe, which is a non-district match on Wednesday, and then we play Richlands on Thursday. So it's a busy week next week for sure. But with that said, that'll set the tone for district. Always the other side of the district, you get out of Tazewell County, you got Marion, Virginia High, and Lebanon. That normally is the stronger side of the district. But I'd like to see us to be able to get in the top 3 if we possibly could, and move into tournament play, and we'll take our chances from there.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so before we turned on this camera, Coach Jacobs was already talking about these pick'em games. Said these are 6 easy ones, so we'll see what you got. We'll start with college football, USC and Michigan.
Okay, we're going straight up, right?
Yeah.
No points. All right. I got USC in that one.
Okay. Tennessee and Oklahoma.
Tennessee.
Yeah, Nico is unreal. And then I know this is your team, Virginia Tech and Rutgers.
That's not even going to be close. That'll be Virginia Tech.
Okay. And then WVU and Kansas.
I think Kansas will take that one.
Okay, yeah, they had a disappointing week last week, didn't they, West Virginia. And then the NFL, we got the Ravens and the Cowboys.
Oh, the Cowboys look terrible this week. I'm going to take the Ravens in that one.
Okay, and then to finish it up, the Lions and the Cardinals.
I'd take the Lions in that one as well.
Okay. All right, man. Well, we'll compare him to everyone else. Again, Coach Sparks 1-5, so it shouldn't take much to beat him.
Yeah, well, not much competition.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on the show. Good luck the rest of the season, Coach.
All right. Thank you.
All right. So thank you, Coach, for coming on for an interview. Appreciate you taking time out of your day to talk with us for a couple minutes. If you want to play against them in the college and NFL pick'em, feel free to leave your comments in the comment section. Shout out to Coach Jones from last week, finishing 5-1. The only game she lost, WVU Pitt. She took the Mountaineers. So as I've learned, I'm assuming for the Mountaineer fans out there, I know I've been hearing a lot of times, Mountaineer fans always let us down, or Mountaineer teams, WVU always lets us down. So that was a tough one. But Coach Hill sitting there at 4-2, and Sparks with the first episode 1-5. So that was a tough one. So and we'll see how they do this week. And yeah, if you want to play again, leave your comments in the comment section, and we'll see how you guys fare against some of these other coaches. And if you're asking or wondering what they're competing for, just good old-fashioned bragging rights. So we'll see who wins at the end of the year, who has the best record. So thank you again, Coach, for coming on the show. Okay, and the game we've been waiting for, I feel like with Graham, if you're a Graham fan, you circle 2 games on your schedule, and that's Graham Beaver and that's Graham Union. This has turned into a heck of a little rivalry, you know. But just to kind of break down the Graham Union game, Union's 2-1. Week 1 they beat Lehigh 47-0. Week 2 they beat Richlands 53-0, and then last week They lost to Science Hill out of Tennessee, 31-7. Science Hill, very talented team in Tennessee. They're a very good team. So if there's one word that I use to describe these games between Graham and Union these past few years that I've seen, it's probably going to be physical. And I expect nothing less than a physical game this Friday. It's a tough game. It's an old school game. Um, and what I've noticed about these games, it comes down to whoever makes the fewest mistakes, whether that be turnovers or penalties. That there have been times where Union had a bunch of penalties and we won. There's been a time where we have a bunch of penalties or turnovers and they win. So a lot of stakes for this game. And it comes down to who's the most disciplined. And I think that will be the same thing Friday night. And for the past, I don't even know how many years, 5, 6, 7 years, the region championship is between these two teams. I feel like Graham or Union has won the region the last however many years. And this game is so crucial. It's only in week 4, but typically the way it's been, whoever wins this game gets home field advantage throughout the playoffs. And they'll play a home game all the way up until the state championship. So it's a huge game of super importance. And from what I understand, I've never been to Bullet Park, so I'm looking forward to going this Friday. I was actually talking to the guys over at the Union Sports Network, or whatever their brand is called, who they do a great job as well. Shout out to those guys. But I was asking them, I've never been to Bullet Park. But I hear you guys have some great tradition, what's going on over there. And they talk about the running of the Bears at 5 o'clock and super loud and obviously the bullhorns. And I know there's some strong opinions on that. We won't get into that too much. But it's been a super close game all these years. And I'm looking forward to finally making my way out to Bullet Park and taking it all in. The one big thing about Union, I feel like they always have a really good run game. And it comes down to typically stopping that run game. And for us, one thing, and sometimes that was a struggle, sometimes it wasn't. It just kind of depends. I think you just got to have the players that are just understanding it's going to be a physical game and you got to get in there and tackle some people. I've been talking to Breno Isabel, and he kind of talks about how physical this game is and how much fun it is to play in it. So I'm looking forward to a great game. But yeah, I feel like we really need to stop Union's run game. They got a little bit of a passing game this year, but I feel like it all starts with the lineup, the offensive and defensive lines, and if we can kind of establish ourselves at the line of scrimmage. I think we have a good shot at winning. I know sometimes, from what I've seen, when we get the ball into space, things seem to go pretty well. So I'm sure we might try to do that. I don't know. I'm not a coach. I don't coach football, but we'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to one heck of a game. As just a fan of football and a fan of high school sports and a fan of maybe the biggest fan of Graham High School and Graham G-Men, I enjoy watching this game. It's a lot of fun. Both teams put on a show every single year, and hopefully we can do well this week. I know it will be a tough environment, as it always is at Bullet Park. But the progress that I've seen in the run game, or just in general in offense, defense, and special teams, I like our chances. I'm always going to pick the G-men, just so you know. But I feel like this past week, Gage Palmer did an exceptional job at running the football, and he's kind of the bruiser running back and gets those 4, 5, 6 tough yards to get, which I feel like Graham has always had that running back that gets those tough yards. So I've really enjoyed seeing Gage in that position. He's done a great job And then Gabriel Lilly, kind of the speedster a little bit. Um, Also adds a new dynamic, and he plays quarterback. So Union's going to have to look at Gabriel when he's in and Dalton when he's in. And Gabriel even mentioned in the post-game interview how much he enjoys that with Dalton. It kind of gives the defenses something to think about and have to game plan for. Got a game plan for two quarterbacks, not one, which adds into your game plan, I'm sure. So I'm looking forward to it. I think our offensive line did an exceptional job against George Wythe. I think they've continued to get better. Defensive line, I thought they were phenomenal. I thought they lived in the backfield against George Wythe. So hopefully we can do that again. I always thought kind of going into this season, the front seven, specifically on defense, I thought that was our strength this year. And so far, 3 games, 3 shutouts. They've been doing an exceptional job. So hopefully they can keep that going. Safe travels to all of you. It's a long trip. It's a couple hours down the road. So safe travels to everyone going. And again, just as a fan of football, I'm looking forward to this one. And as always, go G-Men. I hope we can win this one. And I think we will. I'm interested in Coach Palmer's keys to the game. I'm sure it's going to be along the lines of discipline and not too many penalties and taking care of the football. I think those games are what, or those 3 things are what wins this game 9 times out of 10. And it's going to, I can guarantee you one thing, it's going to feel like a playoff game this Friday night at Bullitt Park. But again, a lot at stake for a week 4 game. Home field advantage, typically, not saying that's guaranteed, but home field advantage typically goes to the winner of this game. So I know we would much rather be playing at Mitchell Stadium every round of the playoffs outside of the state championship instead of traveling to other schools. So hopefully we can do that. A lot of respect for Union from what I've seen, and I'm sure they're looking forward to the game as well. And I'm sure they understand the physicality that comes along with this game and the old school style that will be on display Friday night. So I'm looking forward to it. Again, safe travels to everybody. And yeah, as always, go G-Men. And as always, shout out to Andrew Scruggs Law Office for sponsoring these videos. We appreciate you. Great guy. I know I feel like I'm saying it every week, but he is a great guy and good at what he does. So if you have any legal needs or whatever, give a shout out to him. Give him a call. We'll put all of his information right here, as always. So stop by, give him a call if you guys need any assistance with any kind of legal needs. So thank you, Andrew Scruggs, aka Scruggy Bugs. Thank you. I told you I would give you that nickname shout out eventually. So appreciate you, man. Thank you for supporting Graham Sports Network and Graham High School Athletics and Graham High School. So appreciate you, man. All right, Coach. Thanks for coming on the show again. Takeaways from George Wythe.
I think we're improving on the offensive line, which always makes it better for us as a team to be able to change field position, score some points. So we're really pleased with the improvement of those guys this time.
Yeah. Talk about the defense. I mean, 3 games, 3 shutouts.
Yeah, I mean, they've done great, man. I mean, they've got the ball back to our offense, and and now our offense just seems like it's starting to pick up a little bit. So hopefully we'll be able to, have a complete game.
Yeah, I noticed a little 1-2 punch kind of forming at running back with Gage and Gabriel. Talk about those guys from Friday night.
Well, they ran the ball pretty well. I mean, it's a good change up for us. One's a little heavier than the other one, and the other one seems to be a little more elusive. So it's a pretty good change up. We like what we've got going with that right
now. So what stands out from the Union film?
Union is Union.
Yeah.
They're hard-nosed, fundamentally sound. They're not going to beat themselves, and usually with that, when we play them, the more physical team wins.
Yeah. So how different is this game from other games?
Just the competition between both teams. I mean, we know that, a lot of the times in the past that you've been playing for 1 and 2 in the region. So, but there's other teams out there good right now. Ridgeview's a good football team. So we just have to take care of the game that's in front of us and hope the dominoes fall in our favor.
Yeah. So what's been the big focus in practice this week?
Just execution, understanding what they got to be, what their assignment is, and do it to the best of their abilities.
Okay. Any other keys to the game?
Take care of the football. Don't commit penalties that would hurt the team, and just be fundamentally sound.
Okay. All right, Coach. Good luck, man. We'll see you Friday night.
Go G-Man.
All right. So week 4 games across the region. This is what we're looking at. Graham is traveling to Union, as you guys know. We've only mentioned it a couple times, I think, on this episode. Lebanon, again, the only other undefeated team in the Southwest District, is playing against Castlewood. Virginia High is traveling to Ridgeview. I think that will be a game I'll keep my eye on. Again, like I mentioned, Ridgeview is playing really well. Their offense seems to be clicking at a high level already. So I'm going to keep an eye out on that score for sure. Tazewell will be playing against Fort Chiswell. Marion and Gate City will play each other. That's a Southwest District Mountain 7 matchup. And then Richlands is traveling to Abingdon, and which will also be a Southwest District Mountain 7 matchup. And as we shift into the Mountain 7, going to be a little repetitive. Union versus Graham, Southwest District Mountain 7 matchup. Ridgeview versus Virginia High, Southwest District Mountain 7 matchup. Abingdon versus Richlands, Southwest District Mountain 7 matchup. Gate City at Marion, Southwest District Mountain 7 matchup. I love seeing these two districts play against each other. As many of you all know, that is our region. Our region is just the Mountain 7 in the Southwest District. So to see these games and see these scores, I think it just, I guess for the people that like to play football on paper, it gives a lot of people something to talk about. And Wise Central is heading to Letcher Central County High School on Friday night, and Lehigh is going to be playing Pineville, which is out of Kentucky. And John Battle will have a bye. If I'm not mistaken, all these games across the region will be Friday night at 7 o'clock. And that is your wrap up for the week 4 games this week. All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in again to episode 4 of the Graham Sports Network pregame show. A special shout out to our 3 sponsors, Swamp Fox Motorsports, Visit Tazewell County, and Andrew Scruggs Law Office. Thank you to those 3 for sponsoring these videos for the year. We truly appreciate you guys. And thank you for supporting GSN and Graham Sports and Graham High School all together. Thank you guys very much. Special shout out again to the Graham Sports Network team. They're working hard. Sophia with another student athlete spotlight with Tristan Shoup, who is, I think he finished 3rd in the world championships in trap shooting. So congrats to that young man. To be 3rd place in the world at anything is pretty awesome, let alone a 16, 17-year-old kid. So that was so cool to listen to that interview. Learned so much about him. Mr. Brown had mentioned that to me last year, and we tried to get an interview last year, just didn't work out. But we were happy to bring that to you guys. So thank you to those 2. Again, thank you to the rest of the Graham Sports Network team for doing such a great job on game day graphics and just always working hard. So thank you guys for tuning in. Best of luck to all of our sports teams, and I hope to see you guys Friday night at Bullet Park. Go G-Men.